Will not fight this fucking guy. He's a fucking monster,
but I respect it though because
I'm just gonna fucking die, bro.
I can't. This is the first time. Oh, hold on. This is the first time I ever heard you say any of this.
I know my boundaries.
Jake Paul is said to be under pressure as Anthony Joshua showcases intense training sessions in preparation for his upcoming bout. The YouTuber-turned-boxer appears unsettled by AJ's explosive power and relentless work ethic. Talk of a potential clash between Paul and Joshua has quickly grown from quiet rumors into widespread speculation.
Jake Paul's manager here last week, and he's open to the fight. Any developments on that?
Lots. I mean, you know, this bizarre world that we live in, I think Jake Paul is absolutely the front runner to fight Anthony Joshua next. I'm here in New York for meetings about that fight. There's an open dialogue between myself and Nikisa, an MVP. I don't know what to tell you, Bridgie, other than it's mental. I mean, I can't sit here and tell you this is a 50-50 matchup. The whole thing is bizarre. I think it's extremely dangerous for Jake Paul. You know, I've got the general feedback is the boxing world saying, please, AJ, go in and evaporate this young man from the boxing world so we can all get on as normal. You've got Jake Paul fans thinking bizarrely they can beat Anthony Joshua. And the most bizarre thing out of everything is that Jake Paul genuinely believes he will beat Anthony Joshua.
Promoter Eddie Hearn has labeled Jake Paul a major frontrunner and revealed that serious talks are already taking place, with both camps considering early 2026 as the target date for a possible showdown. Anthony Joshua, the experienced heavyweight star, continues to display his dedication to the sport through a demanding training routine. His preparation features grueling strength and conditioning work, high-level sparring, and a strong emphasis on sharpening both body and mind.
Where's AJ for you right now?
Firstly, I think he's an icon.
Yeah.
Like, if I ever met AJ, I would be starstruck. I remember being in New York City, on my cousin's stag do, which would have been 2017, and he beat Klitschko.
Yeah.
And it was like, I mean, the bar erupted. It was amazing, right? That was peak
AJ.
History will be kind to AJ, I think. In terms of where he
ranks. History will be kind if he doesn't lose a couple more big ones. Because I know everyone's just got microwave memories where they just remember now.
Like, he's nowhere near to say Lennox Lewis, is he?
No.
But in terms of what he carried, nobody can sell an arena.
Yeah.
Nobody.
That's
like,
the
he's up there with like stars of other, like,
sports.
He can be compared to Oasis for selling tickets.
Yeah, he'll fill a stadium.
Yeah, like
there was a time when I thought he could fight me and fill a stadium.
This
like,
is what I was just about to say, that irrespective of the opposition.
Doesn't matter.
Like, irrespective. And he will never, nobody, I don't know, Daniel Dubois will never ever have that present.
Joshua has repeatedly proven his willingness to take on elite competition, including his battles with Alexander Usyk, the former undisputed cruiserweight king who made a seamless transition into the heavyweight ranks. Their first meeting, held in September 2021 at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, ended with Usyk earning a unanimous decision after outclassing Joshua with sharper skills and technical precision.
Once the belts were finally out of my possession, which I was expecting to win, it just kind of tore me apart. And that's raw emotion live on your screen. Obviously, looking back, could I have dealt with things better? Yeah, of course. But at the time, that wasn't the priority. It was just outpour of emotion.
There are so many athletes we're seeing across gymnastics, cricket, rugby and football that have taken time out of their sport to deal with their mental health before coming back in. Did you at any point in that period think, I need to take an extended break away from boxing before coming back in?
It wasn't the fact I needed to take a break. You know what it was? I actually watched a lot of like fighters, they've taken time out of the game for those reasons as well. And I think, okay, if they've done it, I should be doing it. But I got to look at myself as an individual. And what it is, I feel like if I take time out, I'm letting everyone catch up. And I want to be ahead of the game.
Although Jake Paul has displayed solid athletic ability and a strong dedication to training, his ring experience remains limited when compared to established veterans like Joshua. Paul's workouts, while intense, have largely centered on improving stamina and sharpening fundamental boxing skills rather than the advanced techniques honed by longtime professionals.
Do you consider Jake Paul a fighter?
No.
Still not?
Wow, really? We also like punch each other and like elbow, like he was on the ground, I was like kneeing him in the face. Like. So you get fighting your sibling to a whole nother level. Training wrestling is so hard. Yeah. Dana has always been close to my family because of my dad. Then he's like texting Daniel Cormier and like, hey, like Bellamere needs to go to college, where should he go? I was literally cage side sitting next to Dana. The arena like like I literally like get goosebumps sometimes like thinking of it, was I've never heard an arena so loud. Like my last fight, I broke the girl's arm in the first round, like minute something, complete snap, like ripped every ligament in her elbow.
I want professional boxers. It's only been 3.5 years. You can only make a certain amount of fights happen. And the plan was always to fight Nate Diaz after Tommy Fury, win, lose, or draw. People think there's like this ducking of professional boxers. The next fight could potentially be a professional boxer. I'm just getting started. I'm 26 years old, and there's only so much I can.
Many boxing pundits and commentators have voiced strong criticism of the rumored Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul matchup, calling it a highly uneven contest. Promoter Eddie Hearn has cautioned that the fight could be extremely risky for Paul due to the massive gap in experience and skill. He highlighted Joshua's proven knockout power and deep professional resume, stressing that stepping in against such a seasoned heavyweight would be a dangerous challenge for the YouTuber-turned-boxer.
Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, 50-50 fight. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I just said in another interview, great if it is. I mean, if it is, then you've got no problem seeing it. But when AJ, I mean, decapitates a strong word, but you know, when he renders Jake Paul unconscious like he did to Francis Ngannou, don't then say, oh well, it was Jake Paul. Do you know what I mean? I mean, when AJ beat Francis Ngannou, Ngannou just had a fight that could have gone either way with Tyson Fury. Then AJ poleaxed him, and everyone just said he's just an MMA fighter. Do you know what I mean? Jake Paul's not Francis Ngannou. But as I said before, if you want to see Jake Paul exit the boxing world, make the fight.
Let's talk about AJ ever so quickly. I watched Jake Paul the weekend. I feel a bit dirty saying that because I'm not a fan of his, but he did say after the fight that he's sort of having DMs or he's dropping text messages to AJ. They're having a chat about a potential fight. What's your view on that, Eddie?
Well, look, he's calling out Gervonta Davis, who is a 135-pound lightweight, and he's calling out Anthony Joshua, that's a heavyweight monster. I think Jake Paul is crazy enough to fight Anthony Joshua because the money would be absolutely obscene. It's a catastrophic mismatch that people would tune in to watch because it would lead to the end of Jake Paul. Hopefully not literally, but it's that dangerous that, you know, it's a fight that I don't think should really happen, if I'm honest. I would say about Jake Paul, and I've said this in a couple of interviews today, I do think you start after giving him a margin of respect. You know, I think this guy is going through the motions, he's putting the hard spars in. He just went 10 rounds with, yes, a washed up fighter, but a former world champion that did train for that fight. But they're very clever in terms of the opponents that they pick. They're not going to gamble unless the money's out of control. And it wouldn't surprise me if Jake Paul, wanted to move forward with an Anthony Joshua fight. Honestly, AJ's coming tonight. He's not exactly looking at Jake Paul going, oh, that's my dream opponent. Would he go in there and give him a hiding for, you know, a massive chunk of money? Probably. I'd be saying, yeah, go on. I'd like.
The growing chatter about a possible showdown between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul has stirred outrage among many in the boxing community. Critics argue the matchup is not only lopsided in terms of skill and power but also highly questionable from a sporting perspective. While there's no denying the financial spectacle it could generate, experts warn that the dangers for Paul are significant, turning the idea into more of a high-stakes publicity stunt than a serious contest.
Well, I've got you, Billy. There's talks, obviously you're from a traditional side of boxing, there's talks of maybe an Anthony Joshua-Jake Paul matchup. What do you make of that?
Joke. It's just money, innit? It's just for money. Because he'll get absolutely pulverised by Big Joshua. Yeah. Pulverised.
Tony Bellew, never one to hold back his opinion, slammed the talk of Anthony Joshua facing Jake Paul, labeling it a reckless and dangerous idea. He raised strong concerns about the huge gap in both size and experience, arguing that such a fight would be more of a circus act than a true test. Bellew even went so far as to say a clash with Canelo Alvarez would make far more sense for Joshua, stressing that the very thought of Jake Paul being considered a serious opponent is troubling.
This is another level. This is a really dangerous. He ain't fighting a granddad. He isn't fighting a grandfather. It's absolute lunacy. It's insane. It's dangerously insane. Is right. And I never thought I'd say that in my lifetime, but because he says some crazy shit. But he probably could knock him out with his bell end.
It's
just a gross mismatch.
Yeah.
Like, you don't understand his health is in jeopardy. So I'm not even entertaining it. I just think it's dangerous. And listen, I might have to work it, but it's just...
It's kind of ludicrous, isn't it, really?
It's insane. This boy is nuts. Is nuts, and I think he's putting his life before he's putting his life before money.
Yeah, it's
putting money before his life, which is just absolutely insane.
Bellew has long been a vocal critic of Jake Paul's entry into boxing, often pointing out the showbiz nature of his career. He has cautioned that relying on celebrity hype rather than true ring experience could put Paul in serious danger. Bellew stressed that boxing is not a game, it's a brutal sport where taking it lightly can lead to devastating consequences. He also voiced concerns about the rising wave of influencer and YouTuber fights, warning that if something goes wrong, it could damage the credibility and image of the sport.
Jake's not putting on no one because it would end immediately right there and then. The other claim to fame is slapping the shit out of your trainer. But I'm not going to be disrespected by anyone, especially a young child. I don't want no problems, but if you've got a problem, then no problem.
Joe Rogan has often praised Anthony Joshua for his remarkable athletic frame and conditioning. On his show, Rogan described Joshua's build as something out of a comic book, pointing out the heavyweight's incredible strength and physical presence. His comments reflect how much respect he has for Joshua's commitment to staying in elite shape, a factor Rogan believes plays a major role in the fighter's continued success inside the ring.
Like boxers today, if you look at like Anthony Joshua, who's the heavyweight champion of the world now.
Is he?
You look at him, yeah, he's a English fellow. He's a tank. I mean,
Is he?
Oh man, you look at Anthony Joshua. He looks like a superhero.
Do those guys have as much stamina as these guys do, though?
Oh yeah, they do today. Yeah, because the conditioning methods that they have today are just so superior. They understand rest and recovery, and they monitor your heart rate, and they're monitoring lactic acid buildup. And
Frank Smith, the CEO of Matchroom Boxing, sparked debate when he suggested that a possible clash between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul might generate even more global buzz than a Joshua-Tyson Fury fight. According to Smith, the commercial pull of Joshua versus Paul could be unmatched in today's boxing world. Though he admitted the matchup is unconventional, he confirmed that genuine talks are underway, with both sides exploring a potential date in 2026.
The fight with Jake Paul does feel a bit random, Frank, doesn't it? With everything else that's going on in the fight game, I know that he's had some. He's been upping his game, getting some better opponents, and he's got a world ranking and all that. But I don't know. It's. I mean, I think there's other fights out there for AJ, aren't there? Really, with that feel a better fit than Jake Paul at this moment in time.
Yeah, look, I don't disagree with you. It is random, but at the same time, it's the biggest fight out there. It's bigger. The reality is Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul on a global scale is bigger than Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. And that's the world we live in right now. But the Tyson Fury fight is also a huge fight.
This announcement has sparked heated debate throughout the boxing world. Many critics are questioning whether such a matchup would undermine the sport's credibility, while others argue that the sheer entertainment value and worldwide attention it could generate make it an undeniably fascinating prospect.
It gets my goat. What is bigger, Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, or Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury? And for me, it's absolutely clear what's bigger. It's Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, I think... you might throw to some Frank Smith comments in a minute, but Matchroom's Frank Smith. But that fight between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua should not get in the way of Fury and Joshua. Really, in my view, it's an absolute joke. It shouldn't be sanctioned. I really don't believe it should be sanctioned. I have a sneaking suspicion that it would be a very big fight. But the biggest thing is us rubbernecking to actually see if they do get to the point where they step in the ring together. Because Jake Paul's an area level fighter, a British area level fighter, and Anthony Joshua is still a killer and a live heavyweight. That should not be sanctioned anywhere in the world, in my view.
It's dangerous, mate.
Very dangerous.
It brings the sport into disrepute.
Tom Aspinall, the UFC's interim heavyweight title holder, recently spoke openly about the hype around a potential clash with Jake Paul. He admitted that the biggest attraction for most fighters isn't necessarily the challenge, but the massive payday that comes with stepping into the ring against the YouTube star turned boxer.
Who's the greatest of all time in boxing?
Boxing?
Heavyweight.
Me.
I agree. I mean, like, do you get upset when they start throwing other names?
Listen, all right, I'm not being egotistical, okay? They said they know. If you put up some statistics or something, ask the world. Not one guy, 10 guys, ask the world.
Watching Netflix on Friday night, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson?
Yes, I was. But what did I make of it? I think commercially and a business sense, thought it was absolutely fantastic. Both men made a ton of money. So best of luck to them. Congratulations. As far as the boxing fight, it wasn't a fight. It was a tip and tap. Don't hit me, I won't hit you. Circle the ring a little bit. Make it look good. That's all it was. So I don't really make too much of it.
Jake Paul's habit of challenging some of boxing's biggest names continues to stir backlash among fans. Many believe his call-outs are more about headlines than about proving himself as a legitimate fighter. Recently, Paul even floated the idea of fighting Gervonta "Tank" Davis, but the matchup seems highly unrealistic given the vast weight difference. Davis competes at lightweight, while Paul fights in much heavier divisions. For Paul to make that fight happen, he'd need to cut a massive amount of weight, which could make it nearly impossible to bulk back up for a potential showdown with someone like Anthony Joshua.
So a Tank Davis versus Jake Paul exhibition match was going to take place after the Lamont Roach fight, until Tank drew with Roach, leading to a rematch. Now, I'm going to say the unpopular opinion here, but the size difference would have been way too much. I mean, even if Tank brought Jake down to 190 or 200 pounds, he would have still been way too big. I mean, no matter how good a lightweight is, they would have almost no chance against a cruiserweight or heavyweight ranked top 200 in his division. And I'm sure people are going to bring up Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul, but Logan is just not a good boxer relative to Jake. You know, Jake's been training for a couple years, he's had over 10 pro fights, and Mayweather was also junior middleweight in this fight, not a lightweight like Tank. But that being said, I'm glad Tank and Jake isn't happening. You know, it would have been a fun spectacle, but I'm not the biggest fan of the exhibition stuff. And instead now Tank and Roach will be rematching in June. You know, the first fight did a little over 260,000 pay-per-view buys, which isn't bad in this market. Roach absolutely deserves a second fight, so I do think the rematch will do far more numbers. And as for Jake, I want to see him fight big-name boxers around his weight class. You know, the Tommy Fury rematch, for example, he's undefeated. The first fight did a little over 800,000 pay-per-view buys. He's around the same age range, so that's the fight I want to see, not the exhibitions. But let me know what you guys think.
Former world champion Carl Froch has made it clear he doesn't view Jake Paul as a serious boxer. According to Froch, Paul lacks true ring fundamentals and often looks more like he's bouncing around than actually boxing. After watching Paul's bout with Tommy Fury, Froch dismissed it as a one-sided mismatch, insisting that Paul is nowhere near the level of a genuine contender.
I mean, I don't really take Jake Paul that serious. He can't really box. He can have a little fight, he can have a swing. He swings away, stands up straight, and he throws punches, but it's not professional boxing. Because when I watch him box, he does so much wrong. It's just everything's wrong. It's so bad. He's got leaky defence. He telegraphs his punches. Like, you put him in with someone his own size, it was a professional, and it's a mismatch. And you'll see that if he ends up fighting somebody. Tommy Fury, bless him, he's a pro boxer, but he's inexperienced. He's got no amateur pedigree. He's a raw novice, or maybe just above the raw novice. I was saying earlier, where would I put him in terms of levels? He'd do well to win a British title. He's at that sort of level, and then from British title to world level, it's like different worlds. It's like totally different. It's like a different sport.
Rampage Jackson, the former UFC light heavyweight champion, hasn't held back when it comes to criticizing Jake Paul's boxing career. Jackson argues that Paul carefully picks opponents who are either past their best years or already on the decline, giving himself an advantage. Many fans and analysts share this view, saying Paul's fight choices often feel less competitive than what you'd expect from a true professional matchup.
Jake Paul. No, but I'm never going to call out Jake Paul again because I saw Butterbean call him out and that looked pathetic. So I'm never going to call out Jake Paul. But I've called out Jake Paul and stuff like that. Everybody calling out Jake Paul. And Jake Paul. I'm not calling out Jake Paul. He won't fight me for another 10 years until I'm too old to get in there. I'm not. Everybody know that's a money fight and stuff like that. But fuck, I don't give a fuck about him.
Just overall, your thoughts on his opponent selection these last few fights?
He's smart. Yeah.
Anthony Joshua brushed off Jake Paul's challenge with a laugh, hinting that Paul is mainly chasing the spotlight by calling out established stars. Joshua suggested that stepping into the ring with a name like his would give Paul the attention and payday he's looking for, underscoring how much the influencer relies on big-name matchups to stay relevant. While influencer boxing has exploded in popularity with younger fans and pay-per-view audiences, the traditional boxing scene continues pushing to keep the focus on authentic, competitive fights.
We were involved in the sort of earlier days of that influencer world. We did the second Logan Paul KSI fight in LA. Numbers were huge. We did Jake Paul's professional debut in Miami in 2019 around the Super Bowl. And then I think we made a decision to move away from it because I think the focus of our business was we got to just keep focused on professional boxing. Maybe in 10 years we'll look back and go, crazy, should have kept on doing that.
What do you think? Is Jake Paul stepping into waters too deep this time, or can he actually surprise the world? Share your thoughts in the comments.